I'm scared.
You're scared. Why are you so scared of an intro? I'm thinking about doing next season no intros. You like the intro.
I like
You're a fan of the intro.
I like the intro personally because it means that you know when you're on, right? As a guest. You know?
Okay.
And also, like, who doesn't love being introduced to the audience? Like, I think that's also very nice.
Yeah, I suppose. I've got to remember to switch because I'm switching for us tonight.
Yeah, you
so
are.
I haven't switched yet. So there's another saviour for you. I don't get the preamble in there. The 00.
Yeah.
007.
Yeah. I can understand that you might want to roll in. And
just dive in and do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's nice to get a little bit of warning.
I suppose it is, but I know, like, you just got to do the start though, right? You got to start it somewhere.
Yes, you always have to
I'm
start.
always tempted
Starting
to start
is definitely the hardest thing.
Well, what I realised is different with different guests.
Okay.
It really is different with different guests. Like, there's guests that you don't even need an intro. We just start talking. Like, they don't need an intro. The intro actually is disruptive. There's guests that, with those guests, you need to do it immediately. Here, I'm talking to so and so, and then start in.
Yeah.
Because if you do it anywhere along the way, kind of like derails the conversation.
Will you use titles instead?
Titles, no.
I know you love titles.
It's in the copy. It's in the copy.
You've
clicked on it. You've clicked on it. You've looked at the name that's written on the file that you're listening to.
No, you click on a picture.
Yeah, but you see the person as well. You see the person that you're talking to, and it says it on the title and in the copy.
So no titles and no introduction.
What do you mean no? No supers, no.
No supers and no introduction.
No superimposed images, no.
No,
just
nothing.
Just podcasting.
Just straight in with no introduction. Yeah, I'm not sold.
You're not sold? Well, look, here we are. Here we are without an intro, right?
Yeah, right. And currently nobody knows who we are or what we're talking about.
Yes, they
Mind
do.
you, maybe they recognise my voice now. I have been on your show, what,
Just
3, 4, 5, maybe
times.
5 times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once every season.
Yeah.
This is the 5th season. I don't think you've been on the season.
There's a lot of people who listen to my voice. I was thinking about that today.
Yeah, thousands of people have heard you.
Yeah. Oh, not only just through you, but through other avenues, whether it's events or through teaching.
Oh, then it's a lot more than that. Yeah,
I was talking with my students about how weird it is to hear your own voice, particularly recorded. It is weird to hear it through headphones as well, but also recorded, because of course they've all just been making videos and recording themselves speaking, and so you get used to it. But I was thinking about how many people have heard my voice.
Oh, man. Listening to your voice recorded, like, I've been recording my voice for decades. There's been really funny things that I've done. Like, I remember there's this tape that I lost, and I'm really devo that I lost it. We used to carry around a dictaphone because, prior to phones, to record your voice, you had to record it to tape, right? So that's how long I've been recording my voice for, since there's been tape and, mini tapes. And we even did, like, stupid ads. Like, we had one for Leaving Metropolis, which was a band that I was in my early 20s. Leaving Metropolis. And we did this whole ad about where to find us at the gig. And, it was fun. You listen back to it. And
all
it's really
audio?
Cool. All audio.
Right, okay.
All audio. Audio only. Because I used to use a dictaphone to record lyrics. So I listen to my voice often. And I've listened to my voice change significantly over 25 years. I've been recording my voice since I was a teenager in the mid-90s.
I used to use a cassette recorder and record letters, because I couldn't be bothered. I'm a nerd. I know I'm a total nerd. But there was a phase that I went through where I couldn't be bothered typing those letters or writing those letters. So sometimes I recorded them.
I like that submarine sound. Do you hear that submarine sound?
It does sound like a submarine, doesn't it?
Sonar. It's Roscoe's beer sonar. Yeah. Yeah. I can't do it myself. Ooh, they're close.
Can you hear it that well through the microphone?
I imagine you can. Can you hear it? Like, I'll give it another go. You definitely hear that one.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, you guys can hear that. Mention in the comments. Can you hear the sonar of Roscoe's beer? Sorry, I cut you off, Misty.
Down Periscope.
Yeah, down Periscope. Down. Well, we yammering about something. What were you?
Oh, that's all right. No, I was just talking about how I used to have a voice recorder.
Oh, voice recorders. That's right. Yeah.
I enjoy, but you mentioned mini tapes. So I definitely wasn't mini tapes. I was cassettes and posting them back and forth.
Yeah, done cassettes as well.
Yeah. The best I've done is a recording booth with my friend Valerie. Shout out, Valerie.
Shout out.
And the both of us sat in a booth and spoke a letter to an old friend and recorded ourselves. We just had access to a booth one day and we just decided to get in there for an hour and record.
Just record voice.
Just recorded.
Do you still have the
It had
recording?
nothing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That'd be mad to listen to.
Yeah.
Like I said, going back and listening to tapes of yourself when you're younger is very different from listening to your own voice now. Because you were talking about that hesitancy of listening to your own voice and that...
Yeah.
You know, that because there's that judgment, right? Because you go, oh, that's what I sound like. And then all of a sudden they go, oh, that's what people hear me as.
Yeah.
Right?
But I'm not sure they do.
Yeah,
Do
they do.
They do. Okay,
Of course they
right.
do.
Yeah, I suppose.
They hear, like...
They hear what we... Yeah,
well, you
right.
have, like... It's really hard with your own voice because you're very biased with your own voice.
You're hearing it in your own head.
And hearing it in your own head. And the way
Yeah.
that you think as well may inhibit the way that you sound as well. I've listened to my voice evolve, and there's always that part that even when you're well versed in listening to yourself in recordings, there's always that part that does make you shriek where you go, that's me, that's what I sound like. My first VOs that I did were fucking horrible.
Mine are too perky. Do you remember that time I tried to do a voiceover and I was like giving some kind of advice on, it was like how to do something in a farm.
The farm equipment.
I don't know what it was, but
gig.
it was very serious, whatever it was.
They needed someone rural.
You are very rural.
I've been told that many times actually.
Yeah, and I was trying to be like serious, but I wasn't. I was way too perky. It's like, here, you can do this with some farm equipment.
With a two-way radio, you can be totally safe.
Yeah, like that.
Kind of like that, yeah. No, well, for that one, because you got to, as a voice actor, you got to sort of find your anchor, right? What motivates my character?
Well, that's the thing is, I think what I realise now is that I needed to act like a teacher in that moment. I needed to act older, and as somebody who had advice as an experienced farmhand.
You got to play your role. Yeah, that's the role. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just trying to be entertaining.
Well, for me, I just had to think of the word "struth." Struth. Yeah, there it is. Struth. You don't want to go too far. You can go too far with it. Struth. Too much, right? So you got to find the eloquence. The elegance, the eloquence. Struth. No, too much.
Bloody hell.
Bloody hell. No, bloody hell. There you go. Bloody hell.
Take a month of bloody Sundays.
Just take this bit of hose and put it in here. Jesus. Wow, what kind of video is this? It's getting off rails.
What kind of farm are you on?
What kind of farm is this? Jeez. Yeah, voiceover work. Yeah, no, you've done heaps of voiceover stuff.
I enjoy voiceovers.
You were in a feature film, I think.
I played, I don't know.
Were you in a feature?
Wasn't I in Maria Tran's film?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think I did a VO for a feature, and we did the VOs for a short that she did. Yeah. System countdown.
That's right.
That was you.
Yeah, that's right. 5,
4,
3.
Yeah, a little bit of EQ and help from a good sound engineer.
2.
Yeah.
1.
So yeah, you get used to listening to your own voice, but like I say, like for someone who's been doing it for a really long time, it even evolves. Like there's parts of me that I wished that I sounded like I used to, but with the with the accuracy that I have now. Like now I'm really, accurate with what I do. Before I was shooting from the hip, but there was a rawness to it.
Yeah.
That I miss. That's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is there, but it's just not as innocent as it was. Like you now have more of a firm understanding what's good and what's not. Before you're ignorant to the fact that everything's fantastic. So yeah, the weight of the world just crushed my shoulders is the other way to say it.
Yeah. I just remember you coming home and being like, Maria needs someone who sounds posh. Someone who sounds posh like a computer, and you were like, my wife would do that.
Yeah.
Misty would do that.
Yeah, it's been said to me before. People go, is your partner from England? And I go, no, she's from WA.
She's from Perth. We speak with a neutral accent over there.
Yeah. You get a 1980s education in 1990s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm really fortunate. In my life, I've been able to travel around Australia and sort of go back in time. Like, I grew up in suburban Western Sydney, right? So, yeah, sort of on the edge of the ribbons of rural to the, being a suburbanite to being a city dweller. All of those things are accessible to you, Graffiti is a normal thing. I think, if you go to certain parts of Australia in those times, graffiti is a really outlandish thing. It's really crazy, right? Like,
there's a whole bunch of word art happening here.
Yeah, totally.
I'm sometimes surprised at how much graffiti there is around here.
Yeah, there's a lot,
and particularly I
all
don't know what to call it, but it's textual. It's not so much murals and pictures. It's text based.
Yeah, totally. It's all tags. Yeah.
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 Just repeated over and over and over again
that's how
every
they do
3
it.
meters.
Yeah, well, you get better and better and better at it, right? You got it. Well,
You can
graffiti's
tell
really interesting
as you
that
go
way.
down the freeway. You're like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, but then you see them getting better. You see them getting better. That's what I like. There's you can see where they're warming up, where they've done their practice, and then you can see the main wall that they've hit, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I really dig it. I really love the graffiti in Sydney.
Reminds me, when you get off the plane in Paris and at the Charles de Gaulle airport, and you catch the train into Paris from the airport, it's just chockers, absolutely chockers with graffiti on the walls as you go through, and it's just like so exciting because you just see all of the different layers of thought and history and grittiness on top of each other. It's great.
Yeah, I really dig that sort of thing. Like, I think the most interesting one I've seen was in Germany. I didn't personally go and see it in Germany. I saw it on a documentary, obviously, but not obviously. Maybe I've been to Germany. Who knows?
Who knows?
No, but
I haven't been all the way through Germany. I've only been. I thought I went to Frankfurt once. I flew into Frankfurt, but turns out I flew into a place called Frankfurt am Main, which sounds like the main airport in Frankfurt, but it's not. Turns out it's a secondary airport, and it's quite far out from the city.
It's nowhere near fuck all.
And I had to get a bus to get back into town in order to pick up my hire car. Yes, that is that. And I got the hell out of Germany pretty quick.
Well, there's an artist in Germany that went round and photographed all the graffiti, and I think there's a time scale that you can mathematically measure. Like, it's kind of like painting the Harbour Bridge, right? By the time someone paints a tag and paints a wall, and they get to the other side of the city, someone else has already painted over their tag, or the city has painted it over, and then someone else has got a new platform to paint it on, and they paint over it, right? So there's this guy who's gone around and he's photographed all of the points in Berlin, and then when they all get changed, he goes and photographs them again. Puts them in an app, and you can photograph these images that are based in AR.
Yeah,
and then
you can see the history, the layers.
You can see the history of different graffitied walls.
I love that idea.
It's a great idea. Because then it shows the time of the change.
I love the idea of augmented reality art in city spaces and cityscapes, especially in spaces, laneways, things like this, on walls, this sort of thing. I love the idea of having hidden art in that way.
Yeah, that underground sort of thing.
And statues and things like that, adding a current history to history. I think there's a real place for that these days. With all the colonial statues that we have around town, and being able to layer on a different story on top of those
there's definitely
stories. There's a place for that.
Well, I like to see the part where the rubber meets the road, if it makes sense. Like where graffiti can be activism, right? Like when they painted "No War" on is it me? It's me. I've got it on me. When they painted "No War" on the Opera House, right?
Yeah.
People up in arms talking about no war. That's graffiti that isn't done aesthetically, but it's done in activism. So there's an activism to graffiti, and there's a big part of its central idea comes from am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Activism.
Yeah.
Activism.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird words.
Be an activist.
Yeah, activism.
A graffiti artist.
Yeah,
well, an activist.
Yeah, they're making a statement, right? There's anti-establishment in that nature. It's that fringe anti-establishment space. But then you've got stuff like statues that are put up in town. And that's the space that it's sanctioned, right? That sanctioned space. Someone has been commissioned and approved to do this art. And those things intersect sometimes. Like when graffiti artists are approved to paint walls, or when, I don't know, maybe there's an example when a sculptor's gone, fuck it, man. Doing it.
Overnight.
I'm gonna
sculpts this amazing artwork. No, I don't think there
is.
Think that happens? I really don't.
Well, I find those spaces interesting. There's when it goes
sculptors interesting.
Yeah, I find that. Well, after seeing a few interesting sculptures, this definitely interests me. Like seeing the statue of David.
Wasn't that amazing?
Awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
It's the scale and the accuracy is amazing.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling how someone did that without a computer, without any modern technology at all. It's all done with chisel, man. It's all chisel and sandpaper, man. Like, fucking hell. Fucking hell. If you see this thing, kids, go and check it out. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that's where art like that sort of swirls things up, right? Where these intersection happens. Like, it's been said on the Pagey train plenty of times, the intersection of art and war. That's something that I find very interesting, how they cross over and which one's more powerful, because art can be used as war, you know. And
art's way more powerful.
Art is way more powerful, in my view. It's love and fear.
War may be temporarily impactful. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it has a fast burn. That's for sure.
And it may well have a lasting effect. I don't discount the impacts of war. Like,
the bleakness of it all definitely has a lasting impact.
But art has a lasting impact too. And it might not necessarily have, or might not always have that jolt to it that war might have. But it certainly can change minds.
Yeah.
War doesn't change minds in the same way necessarily.
Well, I think there's accelerating moments, because it's about acceleration, right? War seems to accelerate things like, things like the space race or aviation or
Never thought of war in that way. I've always thought of war as something that stops things.
Yeah, well, it accelerates technology, that's for sure. That's been shown.
I suppose, yep.
Yeah, definitely does that. But and that's why people say, a lot of people say, in fact, that art is that accelerator. It's actually a keystone of our evolution, which you could argue is probably true. But I would argue on the other side is the true evolution is on the movement of art. It's not the industrial military complex. It's the hippie movement that really gets things going. Like, it's the hippie movement that makes people like, crazy billionaires like Elon Musk, man. He's a total fucking hippie. Like, wants to make, humans a spacefaring civilization. That's some big acid dreaming shit to come up with that, man. That's some... Those ideas are great. I just don't think, again, like Orville Wright and the Wright brothers thought about dropping bombs in Vietnam when they were creating their the first winged flight. I just don't think that.
No, I agree with you on that, definitely. And when you talk about the hippie movement, I wonder whether or not what you're getting at there is that they're dreamers.
Yeah, totally.
And that they dream of something other than...
Yeah, the Steve Jobs idea, man. I think where art and engineering are closely aligned. I think that engineering is where science meets art. If you look at buildings, for instance, they're not just scientific engineering feats, they're pieces of art. If you look at cars, for instance, cars are... most people that do up cars will thought it'd be motorheads, right? But there's an artist in them making these cars.
Yeah. Well, I learned this recently, right? So I'm not much of a car head myself. I like sitting in nice cars. I appreciate being, taken for a drive. I'm a road tripper, right? And every time I have hired a car, I've done a lot of overseas driving and I've done a lot of cross-country driving. And I always appreciate a good car, but I don't necessarily need a fancy car, right? And so, look at that coming in the side. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Not too crazy.
And
that looks alright. We'll do a bit more.
Yeah. No, so I've always enjoyed driving, right? But for me, the process of driving is always about
the utility,
getting somewhere. But it's often getting somewhere great, and I do enjoy the journey very much. And it's a transition between spaces. I've moving across the country, driving across the Nullarbor, or driving up the Sierra Nevada and back down Big Sur, across countries from Germany across through into Prague and then down to Slovenia and across it. Like I've driven, right? I really enjoy driving, but I wouldn't call myself a car fan. And that difference is something that's that I agree with you that I realised recently doing running on empty.
Don't forget to go check it out. 5th of November, we'll be releasing Running on Empty. Go check it out.
Sure will.
On the Pagey train.
Running on Empty Festival is a festival based out in Cobar, and it's a car festival. A whole bunch of people roll into town and celebrate the film Running on Empty, which was made in the 70s, and it's a great film.
No, 82.
Whoops.
82.
Totally thought it was 70s.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, it kind of was made in the 70s, maybe. It started in the 70s, I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe I'm not sure either. But
Was it written in the 70s?
1982 it is.
How long is the process?
It could have been written in the 70s.
There you go.
Right, and filmed
All right,
in the 80s.
We've got it plugged.
Yeah.
We've got this.
Either way, great film.
Running on Empty.
You had Terry Serio on the show.
I did, man. I got a star. I got a star.
Amazing.
I got a star on the show. It was
He's
great.
amazing. He's a huge star. So many people love.
Oh, it smashed on Spotify, man. He went off on Spotify.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Spotify
great.
canned it. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
You got a good reception.
Anyways,
Thanks, Terry.
Lots of car people in at Running on Empty Festival, and what I appreciate about that is the art of it and the joy that creation brings, and the work that goes into that. That we met some great people who are super proud of the work that they've done on the cars that they own, and you know they're beautiful cars.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like the engineering, there's a point where engineering meets art. And again, it's one of those intersections that I find fascinating because, you know, the perceptions are different. Perceptions are very different. Like, when you talk to an engineer being an artist, you know, I guess the point that I'm getting at is that the arts is cross-disciplinary.
Yeah.
It goes into many, many spaces. And if you have an artistic mind, you may not be the best at something straight away, but you'll get something out of it.
Yeah.
You know, you may have never played the trumpet, but if you give me the trumpet, I'll figure it out.
I'll certainly make a noise.
I'll make some noise and I'll figure it out. And you know, whether I become obsessed with it or not, and decide to make it a canon in my artistic output, that may be a different thing. But you know, you give it to me, and I'll get something out of it, man.
Well, I was thinking this when you said the crossover between arts and engineering, and I'm fascinated by engineers and designers and people who can design products for tangible use and thinking about the ways in which we use things. I equate to something similar to the ways in which we work as a team, the ways in which we develop systems amongst ourselves in order to be able to do things, right? And it takes a certain type of brain, a certain type of way of looking at things that I admire, to be able to look upon an object and go, how can I improve this? How can I make this, improve its usability in some way? I think the same way about websites. I think the same way about events, festivals, people, teams. You know, that same sort of way of looking at something and thinking, I could adapt this. It's a problem solving way of approaching it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, in terms of improving the ways in which we interact with objects.
That's what I mean. There's engineering and art, right? A great example is film. Like, I thought
you were going to say bridges.
No, film, man. Film. You got to, as a director for film, you've got to have a bit of an engineering mind. You've got to understand a lot of technical information and apply that technical information into a performative, creative space. And that it's very cross-disciplinary in nature.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I know that again. That's why I think filmmaking is attractive to me, especially. You know, back to Running on Empty, you know, shooting it, editing it, directing it. I remember being absolutely terrified. Good, I'm on camera. Yeah. Terrified of how it turns out and how the switching happens, how the camera angles happen. Seriously. I remember being absolutely terrified, so invested into the product that I'm like, oh, I've shot this and I'm going to give this to my producers, you know, yourself and Jay, and then the executive producer, John, and they're going to fucking hate it. They're going to pick it apart. They're just going to, you know, tear me down. I'm going to feel absolutely horrible through this fucking process.
I love this artistic process for you.
Fucking awful. I'm going to feel fucking horrible. There's going to be the corrections that I go, oh, look, I know, but you should have just put it in the other order telling me these things. And then I delivered the product and everyone fucking loved it. And it was like, oh, interesting.
Oh, geez, my expectations don't meet the truth.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's true though. Like as someone, you know, because, you know, taking criticism on anything by anybody for anything is always difficult for anyone's shoes. Like anyone that says like, oh no, I can totally handle criticism. It's totally fine.
Totally.
Everyone hates
getting feedback.
Feedback's hard to
I hate super critical feedback, and I just happened to get feedback from a panel of 3 people who are highly intelligent who want to pick apart everything that I do, and so doing a PhD is difficult, and these people have all studied and they know exactly what they're talking
they're on about, yeah.
And a little bit of reflection later on, when you read back over it 6 months later, you say, oh yeah, definitely that needed some work. But in the moment, it's hard taking on any kind of feedback.
It's an emotional context to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's an emotional context to it.
You've put your work into it. And the thing is that often when you create something, you know it's not perfect, but there is that old adage, that old saying that says, it's never done.
It's never complete. That's
never
right.
Complete. You have.
Well,
you
the
just
irony is
you just put it down.
You can't. It can't be better without the criticism. It can't be better.
Yeah.
It needs criticism. You're not going to get through everything without the criticism.
Yeah.
But it's just I think on the film, like for instance, I had 3 edits from you guys, and they were both all very valid, and it made it enhanced the film and made it better.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
5th of November. Don't forget to go and check it out. Subscribe while you're there.
For me, when I'm...
But yeah, PhD, man. Holy shit.
For me, when I'm editing my own work...
Same sort of problem.
If I don't have somebody who's editing for me, I change views, right? So I will... if I'm publishing something online, then I go and I look at it from a different screen, and I look at it through a different browser, for example. Or, obviously not through the back end. I look at it through the front end, and then I look at it through the phone, and whatever it is... either way... by changing the context in which I'm reading it, I look upon it with different eyes. In the same way that time changes things.
It does, yeah.
Also, the platform
I do the same
changes
thing looking at
too.
content.
And so I'm constantly like, sorry,
that was like the biggest mic bump in the history of the Pagey train.
It was not.
Totally was.
I'm sure I've done worse in the past.
No, I've done worse. But that's number 2.
Thanks, though. But reading back my own work in different contexts is similar.
Wow, that's a late one.
Hey, you got a phone call?
This is my brush my teeth alarm.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I dream of Jeannie.
Yeah. Because I'm supposed to go to bed. So I'll brush my teeth, go to bed. I know I dream of Jeannie.
Jeez. It's a bit early,
Yeah,
Grandpa.
I know.
What are you...
I'm Grandpa. I've learned I've got to floss more, otherwise I'm going to get dentures, mate.
I'm a night owl. I'm a night owl for sure. I saw someone saying something online today about the guilt that you have as a night owl, because early birds are like elevated to this status of people who like totally own life. They own life. They're up early. They're owning the day. And that is
whatever.
such a
fucking lie. That's a fucking lie.
It is a little bit of a lie, but also
I'm an early bird. I'm an early bird. I get up any time, man.
Is it a Buddhist thing? Like, I don't know. Like, you get up with the sunrise, you go to bed with the sunset.
Look, there is something to be said.
We have electricity now. Like, we don't need to go to bed with the sunset.
There is actually.
Have light.
It's strange to talk about. Again, some of these intersections for me. There is something to be said of getting up early in the morning and getting a whole bunch of stuff done. But when you get efficient at it, then it just gives you more procrastination time. If you look at it that way, there's heaps of ways to look at. There's different optics to look through starting a day, right? Now, and making your bed and doing these processes and routines. I'd say that routines are more powerful than the time of day, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you start your morning routine at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. as long as you have a routine.
Okay.
And as long as that routine...
Or if you're about to get into some kind of creative work, you have a little routine that sets you up.
Yeah, and as long as you set yourself up for success, is the chores in the house done? Is everything up to scratch? Because that's a big part of it, is your psychological being and how your house is organised and how your life is organised. Is everything organised?
Totally.
And what distractions are going to come in and happen? But again, there is something to be said for starting early. But I'm a night owl and an early riser, so that means I just don't fucking sleep. And when I do sleep, I sleep in odd places and I end up with a bad back.
You do.
So
you definitely do.
So but look, it comes down to discipline and facing your fear. Really, what we're talking
about.
Getting
up early in the morning.
It's all about
discipline and facing your fear.
Yeah, like. especially as someone.
You're right. My fear is an early morning.
Oh look, man,
I've never been an early morning person at all,
man.
unless I'm seeing the sunrise from the other side of night. I love a sunrise after having been up all night. I love that. Absolutely.
Look, you should try on a companion called PTSD, right? You're gonna wake up in the morning, right? If you've had
everybody's ultimate companion card.
Yeah, it shows up every fucking morning, man. You got PTSD, it'll show up every morning. Like, you got to figure out ways to like combat stupid thoughts that have absolutely no meaning. You were talking about before, like how war has a short burst to it, and art is a long drawn bow, right? Yeah. I think there's a relationship between the fear and love, right? Because all decisions are either based in fear or love. And decisions based in fear are a short-lived thing, and it's the same with anger. Like I took I looked at the selfie that I took before selfies were selfies, man. Pretty sure we were calling it selfies back then, anyway. But
it's called a photo of me.
A photo of me looking into a camera. Back when it was printed, photos, right? When you had to go and get the film developed. I had this massive argument with my family, and I was like really angry, and I took a photograph of myself. And I've looked back at that photo, and then years later, you dig it up, and you're like, oh yeah, that's when I was really pissed off and took a photo of myself. And by then, the anger would have been about 97% dispersed. It's gone. And now I look at it, I think it's funny. It's not. There's no even anger in it. It's actually hilarious that I took a photo of I was so angry.
Mad you took a photo.
I took a photo of myself to remind myself how angry I was going to be down the track. Yeah. And then it turns out I'm not angry down the track, and I actually find it amusing.
Me and Casey have a photo like that. Do you remember when we were filming Made West TV
Here we
a couple
go.
of years
ago? Yes, I do know this photo.
The desk wasn't quite ready for us, and crew was ready. Everybody was ready except for the system, and here we were waiting, and we were all getting more and more frustrated at the time.
That cost me 4 days in editing,
and we said, let's take a photo of our angst now, and we all had varying degrees of this stressed smile, like this, like that smile that you give when you're really not happy. And I look at that photo now, and I think that's great. What a great photo, I'm
trying to direct a fucking TV show, and there was no point directing it. And then I just had to go and I may as well just set up 3 cameras and did a post edit on it. That's how bad that was.
Yeah, but you got a good team.
Totally made it easy.
We're ultimately there to have a good time.
But hey, as well, I'll get to enhance. Yeah, and I'll get to enhance my editing skills. Now we look back at it and going, well, that was that one day, and guess what happened? We still launched the product. Yeah. It's still got its hits. It still managed to get publicity for filmmakers. Yeah. It did its job. Did it cost me an extra 3 days of fucking editing? Yeah. Were we pissed off at the time? Yeah. But now we look back in affection, look back at the camaraderie of the situation, look back at the skill and the coming over adversity over it. That's all built in love, man. Yeah, it's all built in love.
I think all films are like that, though. I love hearing people's stories.
Love is way more sustaining. It lasts. It has a more resonant. Love is we love people that have died, man. Like love is it resonates. It lasts for a very long time. Yeah, it lasts beyond death. That's how powerful love is.
Yeah.
Anger and fear. Someone cuts you on for traffic. That's a 5-minute affair. You know.
Yeah, very true. I feel like I can't follow that. Like you
can totally. Why can't you follow that?
No, I was about to relate this idea of love and to filmmaking, but you've just related it to death and something far more important but so much more gravity than
but love and filmmaking is the same thing. I'll bolster in, and let me chime in on it. Let me chime in, and I'll help you out. I'll help you out of this pickle. Filmmaking is one of those chaotic moments, right? And those chaotic moments, we all get emotional. Like TV people are very well known for this. They're very short fused, snap real quick, right? Filmmakers are a bit more laid back. Don't get me wrong, there's still the filmmakers out there that are, dictatorial in nature. Dictatorial? Can I do that?
Doubtful.
Yeah, doubtful. Can't say dictatorial.
I don't know what to do. Dictator-like?
Dictator-like?
Yeah.
Dictator-like tendencies.
Requires a hyphen? Yeah.
Yeah, dictator-like tendencies. Yeah. Those that are out there like that. But generally, collaborators are all pretty good, right? And there's the good TV people, the good film people, bad TV people, bad film people.
Challenging events, people.
Yeah.
And you know,
all emotionally based.
Absolutely,
All emotionally based
it's all
stuff.
emotional. You got to figure out how to deal with your stress response.
Totally.
Always.
How do you react or how do you respond?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a tendency for both. I do. I get. Well, I think I've gotten jaded. I think I've gotten jaded in my old age.
I'm sure.
I'm sure I have. Like, I got into this, like, I'm going to be a creative producer that doesn't get angry at people. Fuck off. Like, as if that's going to happen, man. I'm so naive. You do get upset, and you just got to learn how to crawl out of being over the top or realizing that I didn't get angry enough. There's a balance between those two spaces. Yeah. I think in the most serious ones, I don't get angry enough. I'm just too calm. Like, okay, we'll get through this.
I definitely.
And I fly off at the small things.
My anger is like an underlying heat.
Seething.
An underlying heat that is definitely felt in the moment. I'm like always happy because we're always on point, and I'm encouraging everybody to rise to the occasion when I'm on. You know,
you are a commanding manager, though. You know, you're a very commanding manager.
When I'm in charge, I'm
not a demanding, but commanding.
I'm telling everybody to rise to the occasion.
Totally.
And on the moments
you're enrolled in this, let's do it.
Yeah, and on the moments when somebody has let me down, it's definitely noticeable that that I'm angry, but I'm not like visibly angry. I am like. Rising. Rising anger.
I can testify to this in two ways.
Oh my goodness! They're like, oh my goodness! I'm like, are you mad at me? Like, I've made you mad? I
can testify to this in two ways. Right? I watched you. There's one person that I watched you fire on the spot. Actually, no. My friend told me. We won't go into details, but my friend told me about how you fired someone on the spot, which I think is fucking hilarious. Because, like, you firing someone is like, man, they fucked up.
Oh, it takes a lot.
It takes a lot.
Yeah.
And the one we recently told our executive producer off.
Oh, my goodness. I felt so bad about that.
He missed an interview, and we were in a moving car, and then you basically chest poked him on the street while we're in a car, and he was on the street.
No. You need to give me a little bit of context here. He had missed his interview, right? It was a crucifixion. And we were driving down the... He'd missed his interview to go to the shops, right? To go to the shops, and honestly, if you're in charge, send somebody else to the shops, right? That's true. My thought.
Don't do it yourself.
Send somebody else to the shops because you're important. Because you're. It's important that you stay where you are. But luckily,
it was in the supermarket, which is fucking hilarious.
Luckily, we also had some audio troubles, so we found ourselves it all worked out fine in the end.
It did,
but we found ourselves going down the main street, crossing paths.
Well, you hung out the window and chest poked him.
And I know, and all I did was I realised it was him, and I pointed, and I may have said, "Hey, where were you?" And it may have been confronting. And that I should probably have flipped my glasses up so that he could see my eyes smiling and see that I was friendly. But he definitally afterwards was like, okay, yep.
I'll be at the interview.
I'll be there with you next
terrified.
time. Yes, very true. But right for your interview. I'm very sorry. We've all got a job to do, and our job was to be able to get that grab. And that is fine because we went off. And it turns out, though, it all worked out for the best because we had a couple of rounds at it. And by the time we went back and came back again, everybody was ready, and we got a perfect grab. It was fun.
All right. Well, in that case, and welcome to the Pagey Train. Today we have in the studio Misty Mcphail, ferocious producer, fantastic media practitioner, wonderful lady. Welcome to the show.
I love how long you've let this segment 0 go on for.
Yeah, I did a good job. But now we've broken the flow, haven't I? We've broken the flow, but now here we are.
I feel like maybe he was making a point. Was he making a point?
Maybe.
Might have been making a point.
I got in good though. I got in good, and here we are. I think I'm like 23 minutes in or something like that. I'm trying to. Is that all? Yeah. Well, some of them I've done 40 minutes in to do the intro.
Good.
Yeah. That's all right though.
Well, look.
Now it's one of those Pagey Train things. Where is the intro?
We're here to talk about Made in the West, right?
Totally.
I'm glad we've remained on point so far.
When has the Pagey train ever been on point, man?
I feel like what we've done is we've just gone straight off rails. Like
Yeah, totally.
Normally you start on the rails and then you eventually veer.
That's why we're doing it back. We're doing it back there.
What we've done is we've just head straight off. We're doing it the other way. Yeah.
We're doing it the other way around, which is okay because we've got a lot of good things to talk about. It's been a fantastic year. It's a bit of a reflective year. I'm going to get you back on the show by the end of the year. I want to get you and Jay on the show after the festival.
Can I come on with Jay?
Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
The festival.
Yeah, great.
So we can do a wrap up.
Yeah, totally.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to come back on around that time with my compadre Jay.
Yeah.
It'd be great. We love talking Made in the West. We love reflecting afterwards. You know us. We love a debrief.
Yeah, well, there's a few guests that I want to get on towards the end of the Pagey train, and it's been a fantastic year for the Pagey train. I've doubled my subscription. I've doubled my viewership. You guys are out there listening. I've got to thank you guys again. I know I'm going to thank you guys a few more times before the year is out.
Oh, how many episodes more do you have in the year?
I don't know how many I'm going to do. Maybe another 3 or 4.
Okay.
That'll
take you right up to Made in the West.
Yeah, but I've done, that's like 35 episodes this year.
Wow.
Most of them are 3 hours long.
Fantastic.
So I've done over 100 hours of content, which is
I
pretty
was your
intense.
111th, if I remember
correctly. That's
correctly.
right. You were. You were. Yeah, that's right. You have been on this season. How about that? You have been on this season.
Early, right in the very early beginning days. We didn't even have a venue then.
Yeah,
At least we have a venue now.
We're probably trying to promote something. We're probably desperate for a promotion, trying to get our word out there.
How did we even think that we weren't going to end up back at Event Cinemas in Liverpool? They're our home. They're our space. They are absolutely huge supporters of the festival, and we're very, very happy to be back there.
Well, definitely a big shout out to Event Cinemas, but I must say, it's not the Event Cinemas' fault; it's the world's fault. The world in its tumultuous ways. Like I think we're up to 8 or 9 different managers through Event Cinemas because of the turnaround of staff and the turnaround of all businesses that have had to struggle and go through COVID. It's been a bit of a hard trot, man. So I do cut them a little bit of slack on that one. A little bit of slack because we've all been doing it tough.
Absolutely.
They're still our media sponsor, so big shout out.
Yeah, totally. And all it means is that when we come back next year, they will have renovated and it will look absolutely fantastic for our 12th annual festival.
It's the longest running venue that we've ever been at. 5 years.
This is our 5th year there, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's overtaken the Roxy. We were at the Roxy for 4 years, and
no, Roxy for 2 years.
No,
Paddington is what you're thinking of.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I am thinking of the Paddington. Very true. Yeah, totally.
Paddington was 4 years.
I love how he knows what I'm actually saying.
Well, I do that a lot. Sometimes I just get in people's heads, man. Because you talk. I'm one of the most vacant present people you'll ever meet in your life.
How insightful.
I'm a fucking paradox, man. I'm off with the fairies, but I know exactly what's going on all the time. It's a bit bizarre. But again, still oblivious. Still just floating around like a feather.
Yes.
Going, oh, what's over here? But, I just try to bring goodwill and try to get good things done and make sure that people are getting to where they're going. That's all I'm about.
Very true.
Yeah. But speaking of which, we are expanding a little bit in Made in the West at the moment. Let's talk a little bit about the online festival.
Oh, I'm excited about the online festival.
What have we got planned for the online festival?
So the firstly, what we're thinking is that the online festival has an opportunity this year to be able to expand in a new way, because in the last couple of years, we started the online festival in 2020 as a kind of a contingency plan. We weren't really sure whether the cinema was going to open, or whether we were going to be dealing with lockdowns in some way. And so the online festival was one weekend later in order to be able to catch that situation. If we did happen to fall over with the festival, then we had 1 week later.
Well, we're not going to lose the momentum, are we? We're going to keep it going, right?
Oh, and what I learned from that is that there is a whole bunch of other people who can't access the festival in person, who do want to go and see the festival in online. They do want to be able to access it from home, with their families, in a space that is in a different way, right? And so this year, what we started the season with was the thought that we had the opportunity to reimagine what that might look like, and I think what we've come up with is a really great solution.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So rather than doing a 24-hour festival or a one-weekend festival, what we're planning is to be able to put the films online and have people be able to access on demand over the summer.
Yeah, so, the whole summer, they'll be able to access it.
Yeah.
We're building a Vimeo site. And,
1st of December.
Look, I'm sorry I'm a little bit behind, but I'm going to get it done, right? I'll totally get it done. Like, we got deadlines. Don't tell anyone that I'm a little bit behind on Vimeo.
Don't tell anybody about your deadlines, Ross.
Well, look, Vimeo's happening, and hey, look, it's going to be schmick and span. Spick and span. I think that's what I was going for by the time we get there. Yeah, well, so we'll be on Vimeo.
We don't launch until the 11th of the 11th, which is a perfect date to be able to launch. So we'll be ready and rearing to go by the 11th. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We got a great launch party planned with the finalists and filmmakers from this year.
Where are we doing this launch party?
We're going to be doing it at Bar 30. Don't tell anybody. It's a private party, Ross. What are you talking about?
Bar 30. Don't tell anyone. Tick like and don't forget to subscribe. Tick like.
Stop.
Who ticks like? Nobody. Just fucking punch that thumb, baby.
So but what I am actually so the online festival is going to run from 1st of December. We always get it online 1 week after the festival. So the festival's on the 26th of November.
And we got a host here. Who's our host for this year?
Online festival? Prudence Bernadette.
Prudence Bernadette, man.
I'm so excited.
That's right. She's
going to be great. She's going to be absolutely fantastic. So for anybody,
she's really good, man. Go and check out her channel, That a Girl, as well.
For anybody that's coming along to the festival, during intermissions, you're going to be grabbing cocktails, coming back to your seat, chatting to your mates. But you will see down the front that we will also be filming the online festival hostings, and Prudence is fantastic. I'm really excited.
She's really good, man. I'm really excited that she's going to be a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then after the festival, we will put that package together and get it online. We're going to be, splitting it up in different ways this year, having some different ways to be able to experience that.
Don't give too much away, Misty.
The thing that I'm really excited about is the awards that we've got this year. So
that's right. We've got some shit coming out, bruh.
We so do. So the awards. So we've got a whole new suite of awards that we run for online audience. We normally have our People's Choice Award, which is like the overall winner of the online festival. But we thought,
which is a really cool award, by the way.
Why not expand that this year? So what we're doing online,
but the People's Choice is still the top.
Totally,
like, that's the top of the online festival. Yeah,
it's the Audience Choice equivalent. So the Audience Choice Award is the best.
Yeah, it's pretty coveted, the Audience Choice Award.
Yeah.
If you get that, like, you're doing pretty fucking well.
Totally. And in the cinema, what you're dealing with is an audience full of filmmakers, right? And that's why the Audience Choice Award is the most highly coveted, because it is, amongst all of the filmmakers in the cinema, it is the award to win, right? A live vote on the night in the cinema. But the People's Choice Award is the equivalent of that with an online audience from home. And that includes audiences globally. We have people who tune in from the UK, people who tune in from the US, people who tune in from the other side of the country, and plus a whole bunch of people from Sydney and surrounds.
Guys, you'd be quite surprised the audience reach that the online festival is getting some weird global traction. And I can't wait for this space in 5 years' time, because we're going to look back and go, fuck, remember when it was this big and now it's this thing? Like, you can see it happening.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very exciting.
And so the awards that we've got this year are different to the ones that we announce on festival night. They for the online awards, we're looking at genre awards. We've got, for the first time, best comedy, best horror, best drama, best sci-fi, which is great. We always get some amazing sci-fis, amazing horrors.
We do get a lot of genre films.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then we've got best documentary, best animation, and also my last one. It's not best music video.
Doco.
I've already said documentary. What's my last one?
I don't know. I lost track, because we did horror, comedy, action, sci-fi. Was it action? No, action. Drama. Music. Already have a
music
category.
video. It's music video. I must double up. So music video is a new category in cinema, and to me, it's a perfect category to be able to be
Online Music Award.
to be voted for in both situations.
We need to check this out. We need to go check it out.
There's nothing that you can do about it now.
Nothing I can do about it. Jesus. It hasn't been announced yet. Shit.
Pretty sure it's music video.
Pretty sure it's music video.
And so yeah.
Nonetheless, we've got a shitload of genre awards, kids. Go check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we get some amazing horrors, as I say, and comedies each year. We've had some really, really cool web series.
Web series, there it is.
Web series. So let me run.
Let me run through those
awards one more time.
Sure.
All right. So just to clarify, Made in the West this year online has best horror, best comedy, best drama, best sci-fi. They're the 4 genres. Plus best doco, best web series, best animation.
Best animation.
I'm super excited about animation. We get some great animations every year.
Yeah, it fluctuates a little bit, but they do happen.
Yeah. Oh, we've already had a couple of great ones.
But the online festival is very exciting. You should definitely check it out. We have pay portals in there, and we have free stuff as well.
It's going to be available all summer, which is great. It's something that's very new. We're going to launch at the beginning of December, and we're going to run all the way through summer till January, end of January, and then we're going to have a live awards ceremony right here on the Pagey train, and we're going to announce the winners of these awards.
Oh wow, that's right. I put up the Pagey train pipeline because I'm going to do a live. I'm doing a live to air.
Are.
We're doing a live to air.
We're doing a live.
We're
doing a live awards ceremony for the first time online on the 1st of February.
I'm sure I've got this.
Yeah. Yep. I can't wait. I think it's going to be great.
It's going to be fantastic.
And one of the things that I really enjoy about having the films available on demand all summer is that people who wouldn't normally get to see the festival and see the films will get to see that over the holidays.
I think it's testament in the comments, right, and the feedback that we get from it. I know the audiences are small in pockets, but the growth that I see in it is from the comments. And the comments of people going, "Oh, I couldn't make this festival because X, Y, and Z."
Yep.
But they got to see it online, and then they shared it with their friends. The other thing that I think is really cool is people setting up parties to do set up in cafes and restaurants to watch the festival.
Totally.
That blew me away, realizing that people were setting up projectors and then setting it up in a party atmosphere to watch this content. Just super excited me. It was shit for ticket sales, but it was great.
One person buys a ticket for 60 people to watch. But that doesn't matter.
But hey, you can buy a party ticket. You can buy a party ticket. We've got party tickets available. Yeah. But it's up to you to be honest about it. But any little bit that goes towards us certainly helps the festival. That's for damn
absolutely.
sure.
And that's the interesting thing too. Made in the West is free. It always has been free to attend. And thank you very much to our venue sponsors for allowing us to be able to do that. But the online festival takes film crew, takes editors.
It costs almost as much as the festival.
It takes time and money, and so the online festival does have a fee. It has
almost double
fee.
It's almost double our costs to get it running. Yeah,
but it's a great experience, and as somebody who watches the festival, my experience of the festival is watching it on the couch every year, because during the festival I don't actually get to see the films. It's great.
It's the live feed pockets, man. Like when you notice there's a group watching and you see those live comments going on, I think that's really exciting.
Yeah,
that's where I get a bit, that's where you can see the joy in it all. We're like, wow, this is quite receptive content, and people are really tuning into this, and they're really digging it.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, I really dig it. I think it's got so much legs. It really does. But aside from the online festival, we also have, obviously, our gala event. We got some judges on board this year. What judges we got for the festival this year, Misty?
There are 10. let me see. If I can't even remember our awards, how am I even going to remember all of the judges? We have some great judges this year. I'm so excited. Brian Brown is back as one of our panel members, which is very exciting. He's obviously a fantastic advocate and, ambassador for filmmakers in Western Sydney.
He boosts the viewership a little bit.
Having grown up in Bankstown and being
boy,
such an amazing Australian icon.
Pretty fucking cool dude.
Yeah. A couple of other new judges joining us this year. Sunil Badami, who's a fantastic
another super awesome human
ABC
being.
Presenter and a fantastic South Asian film judge in other capacities. Dr. Holly, who's a local content producer and eco
awesome
warrior, absolutely fantastic, and will bring a different spin to the judging process this year, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I'm glad. She was a little bit hesitant because she's like, well, what about my experience in the space? I'm like, well, we're like, well, you've got a PhD, man, and you look at a lot of content. And it was good to have her turn around and go, yeah, man, I can totally judge this.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was good to talk her into it.
And the type of content that we have coming into the festival is really, there's so many different types of films that come in. What I love about our judging panel is that everybody is so different and they all bring a really different perspective to the process. Yeah. And that's actually what makes it a really well-rounded judging process.
Well, I think we're skipping a stone over what the elephant in the room when it comes to judging, right? I don't know if this is more of an experience now because I'm so engulfed in Made in the West, right? But certainly in earlier years when I suppose when my research scope was broader, looking at other festivals, the same problem was reoccurring, and that is the judging's rigged. Like there's this perception that the judging is rigged, and that was, I think, the first mandate that came out of Made in the West is it is to be an honest festival no matter what.
Yeah.
And look, we hand this content over to judges, and they judge it. And
what I like is that we purposely jumble it all up so that it becomes, so that it's not even in an order. Like the lineup order is a really great is there for your experience in order to be able to enjoy the films in a certain way.
The list is curated after it's judged. Yeah.
But the judges, they just get all the films in equal in a really fair fashion, and that is part of that process for them.
Yeah.
But we have some judges that have been with us now for multiple years. 5 years, 7 years. Some Michael Budd, David Byrne.
Massive shout out, David Byrne, Michael Budd.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Both huge champions,
absolute champions
of Western Sydney film. Craig Morgan, who's an amazing composer, screen composer.
Yeah, another really cool hombre.
Also massive supporter. Julie Kalsef couldn't join us this year, but she's also
another good advocate for Western Sydney
judge
arts,
who's been with us for multiple years. Rachel Bentley, Iqbal, Barakat, both
another two set of legends.
From our original days.
They're at the grassroots, like pushing that talent out there.
And what I like is that everybody's got a different background, right? Everybody comes at this process from a different perspective.
Yeah, it's professionally differently arranged. Yeah, definitely.
And judges always have such a different view on
They
films.
do. They're fucking horrible. They're horrible in this way, man. They have so much fucking different views. You think that you want to put a festival together and you want to get some judges together so that you can get some content aligned that you can curate. It's a fucking nightmare, man. The amount of different things that people think about different films is absolutely staggering.
And that is why it is a great thing that there are so many of them.
No wonder people rig these fucking things, man, because they're fucking really hard.
I love how much you've changed your perspective within like 5 minutes of conversation.
I know.
Gone from it's terrible that it's rigged to I completely understand why it's rigged.
Look, it's good that we go through. I guess what I'm saying is it's good that we go through the hard yards of getting it done properly, because rigging it would be way easier.
Well, to be honest, I think
just would.
it also adds to our excitement for the festival too.
Oh, it's way better that it's not rigged. Fuck
that judging process.
Yeah, no, totally.
Ultimately, when the judges' scores come in, I'm the only person who gets to see them. And what I love doing is giving the team updates on, oh, this is who's in the lead at the moment, and then the next scores come in and go, oh, this is who's in the lead at the moment. And the fascinating thing is that it changes so wildly depending on whose scores have come in at any given time. And what I like is that over the course of the 10 judges, we end up with a nice balance of who.
You do get a good contrast of data, and through the data you can see that it's a very honest process.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will fight for films, like judges will fight for films, right? And we're sort of the bipartisan, apolitical sort of wing of it all, which is bizarre because we operate all of the gauges, we read all the gauges and operate all the levers, right? But the one thing that we really sort of separate ourselves from is that who is the winner and who is not.
Yeah, the judging process ultimately is completely out of our hands. It's
way out of our hands. But the ones that are interesting, the ones that are really interesting, isn't the one that wins. The one that wins is quite easy to define. The one that comes, you might find it difficult to find the winner to the runner-up. That might be a difficult discussion out of scoring because they're arbitrary scores, so they're difficult to match up, and you've got to get them into what we really have to scrutinise that process, right? It's not the winners and the seconds and the thirds. It's the ones that are almost in, the ones that are at the fringe. Are they going to become official selection or not? That's where the real interesting fringe space is.
And there are so many films every year that are just almost in the lineup, and it comes down to duration. It comes down to
it had an equal judge perspective across the board.
Yeah. It comes being able to.
But it's a little bit out of focus.
Ultimately, we're limited by the duration, right? We're limited by how much screen time we've got.
I've said this a few times. 7 minutes is... if you can get it done in 7 minutes, that is the spot. 7 minutes is a great duration.
Talk to me about what the ideal film looks like to you.
Oh, that's a fucking hard one.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. I think there's different categories of good films. If you're looking at a genre film, horror is a great accessible entry. Doing a horror film. You can generally do it on the cheap, and even if it's a little bit kitsch, that can add to the charm. Doing a drama, you've got to find good actors, and you've got to really have a good directional approach to getting the content right. Comedy is the hardest. If you're going to do a comedy, you should be doing other things, maybe a little bit of stand-up on the side. You do writing for other projects, and you're taking this on as a challenge. Documentaries are usually driven by passion, and I want to change the world, and I want to have this impact and fix this problem over here. All of those genres have something to be said for them, and their durations, I would say, doesn't matter. 7 minutes is the duration across all of those.
So if you could identify like the top three things
if you're doing a 15-minute film,
festival curator, what are the top three things you're looking for?
If you're doing a 15-minute film, it has to be the best.
Yeah, 15-minute films are difficult.
If you're doing a 15-minute film, that means you're saying that there is 3 7-minute films out there that are nowhere near worth what you're doing.
2 plus 2 7-minute films equals 14.
Oh, yeah, sorry, 14.
two films.
There's 2 films out there that are, like, are not considerable.
Can I talk to you about an amazing 15-minute film?
Hey, if you get your mic right.
Do you remember last year?
Now we're better.
Do you remember last year? Towelhead was an amazing 15-minute film. Shout out to Serene
15 minutes on the dot.
Omran,
on the dot.
Who is a fantastic filmmaker and singer and producer. It was 15 minutes on the dot. That's exactly right.
The only student film to ever get the Audience Choice Award. Yeah, that's how impactful it was.
Great film. Towerhead. Look it up online. It is fantastic. Western City made in Bankstown.
If that film doesn't speak to you,
true story about an artist
in the face.
and the story about an artist. Please don't punch yourself in the face.
No, but seriously, if you go, I don't like this movie, like you need to review your life. You just do. Like it's a mad movie, dude.
Yeah,
it really is.
Well, well, my idea of a great film that gets submitted to Western Sydney is obviously one that meets the criteria, right? So it has to be under 15 minutes.
Oh, you got to go into the event, yeah.
Has to be under 15 minutes. Has to have a cast member, a crew member, or a location from Western Sydney. And often what I'm looking for is something that that invokes a bit of passion, right? Someone feels that there's a story that is impactful. There is a moment that is generated. The audience gasps. And
it happens. Does happen
often. We have a fantastic audience at Made in the West Film Festival.
It is the most intense audience that you'll get
so
any bums
engaged.
on seats anywhere in the city.
Yep.
In the city,
we have 330 people who will pack in there. A lot of them are filmmakers. A lot of them are film lovers, and they will absolutely cheer for your film. Be excited to watch what you have come up with this year, and absolutely support the work that you do, for sure. The perfect sweet spot for me is either around the 3 to 4 minutes. I love a nice short. And I also love a 7 to 9 minute, right? I love those sweet spots, but there are plenty of films that are 11 minutes, 12 minutes that are coming in at the moment.
That's another good sweet spot.
That are absolutely great. There are some fantastic submissions coming in right now. They're great.
It's a hard question to answer. The question you've asked is a hard one to answer because what you've just described goes across different echelons of different filmmakers, because you've got filmmakers that are on their second film. Generally, second filmers are doing their 12 minutes. Your third attempt is your 7 to 9.
Student films are doing 15.
Student films are 15 all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to compress a film.
Student films have the hardest trouble making it shorter.
Yeah, it's very hard to compress a film down to not be precious, right?
Yeah.
A good filmmaker knows, right, I've driven the story either by the narrative or the images to get it to this point, and they need to have a relationship. That relationship needs to be there in the storytelling narrative. That's a hard thing to do. Normally, your third film, they will do that. Normally, they do that. So you've got these different echelons of filmmakers, so different age brackets. And then you've got two different kinds of filmmakers. So you've got the ones that are formally trained, and the formally trained have a hierarchy. If you went to AFTRS, you better be shit hot. If you come from WSU, they'd be like, well, you gave it a good shot, right? But the thing is that...
UTS, don't forget UTS.
UTS actually punches out good filmmakers.
UTS is doing great things at the moment.
They actually... I would say that UTS is on... across the board is on top of filmmakers.
JMC and SAE are also contenders.
Oh, they're all contenders.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all contenders. No doubt about it.
For sure.
But I would say... Out of that hierarchy, WSU is usually at the back of that pecking order. But I tell you what, WSU have won that award before.
Totally.
It's not out. It's not something. When I say that, I need to give it to the right gravity, right? It's not out of reach.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near out of reach. If you apply yourself, you can get that award. It's totally possible. It doesn't matter where you come from. But that's the hierarchy of film schools, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you got this other hierarchy of, well, I didn't go to film school.
Yeah.
I've taught myself. I only shoot on film. Big shout out.
Chris Eleanor.
Chris Eleanor. I only shoot on film. Right? Like this, you've got these diehards that are really minded in this, I'm going to eat cheese and live in the back of a Datsun fucking mentality. I don't care where my education comes from. I'm a storyteller.
I'd also like to mention that nowadays, since last year, we also have a third section to our set of filmmakers, and that is, we've got student filmmakers, we've got indie filmmakers, and then we now have music video producers who are just fantastic. It is the Western Sydney is a hotbed for music right now. There is some amazing work happening in Western Sydney, and music videos are a huge part of being able to promote that. And what we're trying to do at Made in the West Film Festival is connect Western Sydney filmmakers with musicians who are based here in Western Sydney, and that is an amazing. Beautiful collaboration that
I can see the beginnings of that happening, and I've been watching the credits of these films, And there is definitely crossover that's happening. There's no doubt in my mind that that's happening.
Yeah.
But there is that third category of filmmaker. I generally find that the filmmaker that makes music videos either does weddings, usually a wedding videographer that's like, I want to make music videos because I want to do something to a beat. And then there's the filmmaker that does the music video. So there's the two kinds of music video makers. And then there's the third type as well, is the artist that self-produces their own video clips.
There's I don't know.
So out of all of that, you have 5 different hierarchies of people that are bidding for this trophy, right?
Music video trophy.
Yeah. Whether it's whatever glassware it is, Audience Choice Award, Best in the West, Best Student Film, Best Music Video. Everyone's bidding for this glass. What I say to people is, it's great that you've got your glassware. If you've won a glassware, that's fantastic. But the real superb thing here is that all of us here in this cinema watching all of this content, the whole cake is the cherry, if that makes sense. Like, anything that gets on that screen means that we had enough time to provide the space for it. Like, we will squeeze any amount of time of content that we can from Western Sydney artists onto that screen. There is no doubt that we will do that. You've got to draw a line somewhere, and judges is one of those lines.
Yeah.
And if you don't agree with the judges, you can have your own vote.
Yeah,
you can be the Audience Choice Award.
So at the festival, we normally screen maybe 20, 22 films, maybe 18 films. Depends on the duration,
28
really.
is the best we've ever
28 is the most we've ever done, but we had 2 cinemas at the time.
During
and it was
COVID, and we had a good discount. It was pretty good.
Great. Normally we'll have maybe 20 films or so throughout the night. 2 segments, intermission in the middle where everybody gets to meet each other, and it's great. Pumping through those films. It's a great vibe. The cinema is fantastic. The seats are fantastic. You know, I love those big leather seats.
They are great seats.
I love those big leather seats. There's some VIP spots in there. Everybody's there's such a good vibe at Made in the West every single year, and this year is our 11th year. And we are, I think, headed for one of our best. Every year we end up.
It's strange how it becomes the best.
Better than we ever expect.
It's strange how it always happens that way, but it does, and it always happens at a different angle. It's not the angle that you predict. Like, sometimes we're flourished with content that is all fantastic. Sometimes we have a short form of content where we have to pick from the gold. You know, and we have these different angles that always happen. Venue issues, promotion issues, global issues.
There's a lot that happens.
There's a lot that
happens behind the scenes running a festival, for sure.
Oh, dude. That's what it's kind of the bittersweet, right? Like, sometimes you might ask yourself the question, what am I doing this for? Is it for the money? It can't be for the money.
There is no money.
There's no money. It can't be for the money. So there must be other reasons behind it. And these reasons tap into that idea of love.
I do it for the love, for sure.
You know, and that love is sustaining. That really is. Love, mate. Love.
It is about the love.
It's about the love. It's about the love.
Yeah.
But, you know, speaking of love, we got some awards and prizes for Made in the West this year. What are the awards?
We do. So top award is obviously Best in the West award, which is for indie filmmakers across any category. We have the Best Student Film, which is for any student from any film school or learning institution. And then Best Music Video. And those 3 are judged by the judging panel. And then on the night we have the Audience Choice Award, which is voted by the in cinema audience.
Okay. And what awards do we have? Sorry, we had the awards, but what prizes do we have?
Oh, well, this year we have $10,000 in prizes, which is fantastic. We're over that, but approximately. And this year's prizes are amazing. We have everything from a DOP package from thanks to Luke Walker Productions, sound mixing package thanks to Million Masters, Foley package thanks to Still Searching. Thank you very much, Ross.
No worries.
Mentorships and memberships, APDG, which is Australian Production Design Guild, for the Production Designer Award, Writers Guild for Best Screenplay, Erie Root Scenic Photography, donating headshots for actors in the Best Leading Role, Best Supporting Role. ACE, Arts and Cultural Exchange in Parramatta, is throwing in rehearsal rooms, writing room hire costs, a studio for the runner-up of Best Music Video. There's a whole bunch of prizes that are coming everybody's way.
Insanity. That's a lot of prizes going. That's really great that we've grown to that point. It really is.
Honestly, having that support from organisations around Western Sydney. Oh, I forgot Sydney Props. Sydney Props has been with us now for this is their 6th year with us as supporters, and they donated access to their television studio, high costs, which is amazing. You can drive a car into that studio. It's fantastic. They
do a great job.
Yeah, so it's like it means a lot to us having the support of different businesses and organisations around Western Sydney. It makes a huge difference.
All right, so submissions are still open, right?
Yeah, not for long though. Submissions close on Friday night at midnight. Friday 28th of October. If you are a filmmaker from Western Sydney, or if you have made a film with a cast member, crew member, or location from Western Sydney that is under 15 minutes in duration, you are eligible to submit your film. We accept all genres, from horror, comedy, drama, sci-fi, all of the above.
You name it.
But also web series, documentary, animation. We want to see what you have been working on. For sure. The films at the moment that are coming in are great. Every year we're surprised. Every year there are some amazing films, and we're super excited to be able to screen Western Sydney filmmakers on the big screen at Event Cinemas.
And the festival this year, 26th of November. All right, so rolling out the red carpet. We've got a bit of an event coming up.
We do. Event Cinemas is a fantastic venue partner. We will be rolling out the red carpet from 6 p.m. on Saturday the 26th of November. Doors open at 6. We will have some VIP networking, a little bit of champagne happening to start the night. Kickoff will be 7 o'clock, 7:30 for a marathon lineup of films. Usually we screen about 20 or so short films, depends on how many we have in the total finalist lot, and usually 2 segments. There's time in the middle to be able to meet people. We got cocktails, we got a private bar, we got an amazing cinema, 330 people, leather seats, huge 3-story VMAX cinema screen. What else could you ask for, really?
Again, totally insane. I can't believe that we get to run such a beautiful event. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It really is.
Yeah, and it's pretty amazing. Like, I can't wait for this year. I can't wait to get out the back end of COVID, to get back into, a little bit of normalcy. Don't get me wrong, like the events that we had during COVID were fantastic. But now we're coming out the tail end of that, and now we can look forward to the future. And the industry that we're in at the moment is just on the grow. And it's just exciting to be around. It really is.
Yeah, very much so. Western Sydney filmmakers are doing amazing things right now. There are a lot of filmmakers who have been doing some amazing work in the last couple of years, and they have gone on to some fantastic projects.
Yeah, totally.
In recent months, and we are super proud to see where they are going and what they have in store. And I feel like what's happening at the moment is that, like, the next wave of filmmakers is coming through.
Totally.
There is a new set of filmmakers that are entering films at the moment, and it's got that raw sense to it again, which I'm really excited by.
Yeah, this is what I was talking to earlier in our discussion, and it's that hierarchy of people that are at different stages in their career, right? So you got the canon rock stars of Maine the West, right, which have been predominant for a good 5 to 7 years. But there's that new generation that's out there, and I'm watching these guys grow. Yeah, and that's that intersection again of intergenerational intersections, and that idea of, not so much changing of the guard, but the welcoming of the new.
Yeah. Well, Made in the West has always been about that, right? So one of the things that we always try to do is connect students with short filmmakers, and short filmmakers with feature filmmakers through our trailers and feature film and then with judges, right? And the judges are the industry professionals who have those connections to industry. We have always thought about those 4 layers. And there are a lot of filmmakers who've been working since 2017 through to 2021, that sort of era, who are now moving into feature filmmaking. Like, you know, Bina Bhattacharya out there is making an amazing film. Arka Das is doing awesome things on TV, writing content. Matthias Boller is out there making amazing. Von Patiag is out there doing amazing things. There are these awesome filmmakers who have come up through the ranks who are out there doing fantastic things, and we love that they have found their niche and their passion, and they're creating such amazing content. And so we're really keen to see the next round, the next wave of filmmakers come through Western Sydney, because Western Sydney's a hotbed, a creative,
really is,
scene that really generates so many different voices, different perspectives, and from that you end up with some great film work. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot going on there, which is fantastic. But you know, man, I just can't believe we've gotten to this point. I really can't.
Yeah,
it's a difficult thing to fathom. Like, something that started out with a $200 projector on milk crates in a dilapidated cinema to where we are now is just fucking amazing.
Yeah. And to be able to celebrate our 10th year last year was huge. You know, a big milestone for us. But I feel like as a team, we're now moving into the next phase of what we're up to. Our 11th year is pretty exciting, you know.
It is.
There's some great things ahead. There's been some great things so far that we have got to experience. We love working with Western Sydney filmmakers. It's an exciting and edgy, it's
fringe.
If
you're standing on the edge, you're taking up too much room.
Very true. If you are standing on the edge, you're taking up too much room. Western Sydney is cutting edge. There are things that are happening here that are not happening anywhere else in the country, that's a wonderful thing for us to be able to help.
It's
capture.
exciting. It really is. It is exciting. But look, I think we're at the end of our time.
Yeah.
But I would like to say good luck and you know, Godspeed and positive energy towards your educational endeavours. I know it's really tough, but you're at the crunch point. And,
very true.
And I wish you the best, and I know that everyone wishes you the best. And
thank you.
And I think everyone's really thankful for all of your really hard work with Made in the West.
Well, I was going to say, I wish you Godspeed and all the best for the next 4 weeks of Made in the West, because Made in the West is coming up very soon.
Yeah.
And there is a lot to do between now and then, but it's all the exciting stuff coming in the next month.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Misty. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
And guys, you've been watching The Pagey Train. That's right. You can check us out on Spotify. That's right. Video on Spotify. Or if you're a regular diehard and going to YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. That's right. Subscribe and tick for notifications. But for you avid listeners out there, you can check us out on iHeartRadio or Apple iTunes. You've been watching The Pagey Train, and we'll see you next time.
There will be, and it'll be post-festival.
Post-festival. We'll get you guys. I'll get you and Jay on. Yeah.
Yeah.